absolutely crucial is the politics and the judgment of the people running that organization. And we can look at one decision that he and his colleagues made years ago and draw your own conclusion. And that is they decided to devote 15 hours a week, 3 hours in the morning, to a program called JM and the AM, which is hosted by a person who sits on their board and, according to their IRS 990, draws a salary, Nachum Siegel. And the program is about Jewish culture and public affairs issues, which is fine, speaking myself as someone raised Jewish. But my problem with it is that there's frequent coverage of the Israeli government in totally 100% supportive ways for all of the repression, all of the occupation, the violation of human rights, the war making, all of the things Israel does get cheerleaded in prime time on this program by a board member who's paid. And that, to me, speaks volumes to the judgment of the person who would be running WBAI. Whether or not he would put that same show on our air is not my point. My point is that what other kinds of decisions is he likely to make if that's the decision he's made for 15 hours of prime time? So I think that in itself, combined with, their downplaying, by his own account, his intention to greatly cut public affairs, which is the opposite of what we need at this time of crisis, domestically, locally, nationally, and internationally. I think we have to really be seriously troubled by that as a viable, to be considered a viable option.
This information for Bob, a letter. Bob, given what you just said, why would you continue to favor that resolution that was just read from the Finance Committee, rather than allow the PNB enough time to rationally consider the other 9 offers that are on the table? In other words, do you interpret that resolution that our Paul just read from the Finance Committee as halting consideration of the 10 different LMA offers, or allowing them to continue to consider and evaluate those offers, get further details on them and negotiate them, and hopefully wait as long as they can before signing one, if that's the approach they're going to take?
Yeah, the motion does not talk about halting consideration. It says postpone any decisions on the LMA option.
I see, thank you.
Okay, so, that PNB can do what they want to look at things, although they should do it in public. And I really reject this notion that there's some sort of contractual obligation to keep secret the names of the applicants about something that is vital to hundreds of thousands of people.
So just to be clear, you would do it in public even if that meant certain of the offers went away?
Okay, there's no back and forth, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay,
That's it.
okay, thank you, Bob. Janet is the last person on staff.
Well, let me see if I can organize my thoughts as the last person. I appreciate very much what Manager says. We've spent months on a sustainability plan that really people here fought our collaboration on and denied the fact that we needed a sustainability plan, sought to hire people who the PNB had already said had to go because we couldn't afford this. So to now, put up an idea that we can stand a very painful 6 months when we lose listeners every time we have a fund drive. We get money and we lose listeners. We already dedicate 1/3 of our programming to simply horrendous shows that have nothing to do with the Pacifica mission. Nothing. But are all about what?
6 months versus 6 years.
6 months versus 6 years.
No cross conversation,
No
please.
cross. I just want
the
everybody
chair
to
says
be
no
aware of
cross
how much time is spent with money-raising programming that is not mission-based, that has nothing to do with public affairs, that has nothing to do with going forward with the WBAI mission. Just keep it in mind. I think the PNB has a fiduciary responsibility to entertain these proposals. They asked for them, and to do it timely, to not put it off for 6 months. everyone here, I mean, who's spoken to this issue realizes it, that our options are drying up. This took, 10 years ago, our radio station was worth millions and millions more dollars than it is now. We're going to be worthless before very long. We are really going under. We have no sustainability plan. We have not a plan for 6 months. Everybody who has offered some idea here, what, a structural plan? You need an engineer, don't you? You need to pay somebody to make a structural plan. You need an engineer, you need workers to build a studio. You need a budget to do advertising. You need phone lines installed. You need everything. We don't have any of that money. All our money is going to our debt. You really have to think financially here as a fiduciary of this organization. And to reject without out of hand because some guy likes Israel on another radio station that isn't even part of this offer really seems to me to be irresponsible on all of your parts. The only thing I heard here that is really a surprise to me, and I didn't think of, didn't know about, was Serene's idea that we could lease several hours a day. I mean, we practically do already.
We just don't get paid for it.
We just don't get paid for it.
Thank you, Jack.
And I'd like to pursue whatever that idea is. I think
I'll
it's
find out what the
very
legal parameters
interesting.
are, okay?
Okay, so,
Mr. Chair,
Oh, we might not be able to.
I would just like to make one statement, personal privilege. I've got to do this because I've seen it. I've heard here over and over again that there is no money. That's absolute lie. There has always been money for Pacifica to draw on. They have not taken advantage of it. They don't collect 1/3 of their fund drives every year. That's $1.2 million a year. It would pay for 2 years of their transistor. They don't do an ad campaign that has proven successful. It wouldn't cost them a goddamn penny and would take no station resources. Management here will not do what they need to do to raise money easily. So anything you've heard here is like to the side of what the real issue is. And I can't say any more of that because I'm probably violating some rule or other.
well, the
That's
the
all I
rule
can
is,
say.
okay, so I'm gonna, that part of the conversation is closed as we are specifically, the comments were supposed to be consideration of proposal to consideration of proposal, then to the PSA operating agreement, and it doesn't, some of the other things we heard tonight weren't really on that, so we have a motion on the floor. Who made that? No, we don't.
Oh, that wasn't a motion?
That was just-
No.
So I would like to
item.
say to everybody here, because the audience, and I just want to congratulate you.
Yeah, there
you're
was a
very
motion
patient.
on the floor that our poll read.
No, it wasn't.
Pay attention.
No, I want to congratulate the audience for being patient. Thank you very much. You know, it's hard to sit through this. We'll be getting to public comment shortly. So the next item on the
I'm
agenda.
sorry, Chair.
Yes, Celine.
Okay, I wasn't here when you guys were approving the agenda. We didn't do excused absences.
We don't have
It's not on,
I'm sorry?
it's not on the agenda.
Right, it should be on the
But
agenda. It
it's
should be on every
not. It's
agenda.
not, so we'll move on.
Okay, very
Okay, the
well.
treasurer, with a motion from the local finance committee, is 5 minutes. Is that 5 minutes?
Yes, 5 minutes.
Okay, so we're going to speak to this only. Yes, go.
All right, well, it's a short, very short report, and then the motion. All right, apparently I've put out the written treasurer's report. It's about 3 pages long, and apparently folks have printed it out here. Thank you for people doing that. It's also online. Basically, fast synopsis, overall, the Pacifica Foundation is in very dire financial straits. And the Pacifica Foundation is what's been supporting WBAI for the past several years. Okay? All right, that's that part of the report. The following motion was passed by the Local Finance Committee at its September 25th, 2013 meeting. Now it's going on the floor. The WBAI Local Finance Committee strongly urges the WBAI Local Station Board to urge the Pacifica National Board to postpone any decisions on the local management agreement option and any other changes in WBAI's operational status until all other fundraising options for WBAI have been exhausted. In particular, we urge the interim executive director to organize a network-wide emergency fund drive with the support of the PNB, specifically aimed at paying off WBAI's immediate external debts and to conduct an immediate fundraising mailing and emailing to the entire WBAI database. In addition, the Finance Committee recommends that the LSB demand that no decision on leasing WBAI or any other such status changes be made by the PNB before a public presentation and discussion by the WBAI LSB, on-air discussions in several time slots, and an LSB town hall meeting. Now, there are just two fast amendments that need to be made to this, and I'll make them right here. One, to strike the word interim. This was made 2 months ago. One, to strike the word interim in terms of executive director. And two, to change local management agreement to public service operating agreement so that it's the right term. So those are my two amendments there.
Is there a second?
Doesn't need it, comes from the committee.
Comes from the committee. So,
Yeah.
If people want to discuss it for 2 minutes, they can do it.
is,
I'm gonna discuss it for 1 minute.
Bob, okay, so Seth, Bob, you mind seeing it? Seth, Bob, and that's it. Discussion's over after this. We're limited to 5 minutes. Mr. Timekeeper, please, 1 minute each person.
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, I'd like to speak against the motion. I think that it just makes it more difficult for the PNB to do its job. Some of the things that are mentioned, for example, the executive director trying to do a national fundraising day. Well, she's obviously trying. She tried it. She's trying. It's difficult. Her heart is to try it as much as she can. If she gets producers either from here or from elsewhere, I'm sure she would try it again. She doesn't need that. Plus, the word demand is insulting. We're not speaking from knowledge. Plus, and the main point is that they have to go ahead and consider these options as they become available. I do agree with Bob that things should be as transparent as possible, and we are getting that in the report. Thank you.
Bob?
Okay,
1
well,
minute, please.
yeah, on the first point just made about the network-wide fund drive, obviously, things should be done if they're feasible, and this is recommending to the PNB that they direct the ED to try to do that. I understand that she made an effort, and there were obstacles, and, maybe she can try another approach, but I think it just puts us on record saying other measures should be tried first. And as far as demanding, I don't think it's unreasonable to demand that our bylaws be followed for requiring open meetings and open decisions. So I think that's perfectly legitimate. And I also want to offer an amendment to extend this transparency, reading as follows. The LSB also urges the PNB to conduct its discussion of the major aspects of this matter in public and to direct the executive director to release the names of all applicants. And again, I spoke to these issues earlier, but there's no reason that they can't be made public legally. It is completely legitimate, and there's nothing compromising about that, that measure.
Okay, we're Stacks Clause, we're past the time set on this, so there was an amendment, that's an amendment, is there a second to that amendment?
Seconded.
Okay,
First we vote on this.
Can we move to
okay,
sever?
first we're voting on, we have a second by,
Can we move to sever? That, the clause on urging transparency from the remainder of, can we make two separate motions out of that? Because if we did, I would vote for the second and against the first.
do you want to hold that, make that a separate motion?
Divide is what you want.
I'll move to divide.
He's moving to divide, let's see. All right, because of the fact that they could both stand alone, his motion to divide automatically divides it. So it's divided.
Okay, so we're going to go to the second motion.
Consideration in public. He said, there are two things, consideration, PNB to consideration in public, and disclose names of applicants. So might as well do consideration in public first.
Consideration of public.
As maximally feasible or something.
Can you read that
Yeah,
again?
let me read it again, so everyone.
Is the amendment that's being severed or the?
Okay.
Well, we're going to straighten this out in a second, just everybody bear with us, please.
Can I just
Read it
read
again.
it? The LSB also urges the PNB to conduct its discussion of the major aspects of this matter in public.
That's all.
Okay. Any question? All in favor? Please raise your hands.
All in favor of what?
Come on, come on. The second
Discussion policy.
He read it, it was the second part. If you're not paying attention, I'm calling the vote. I'm sorry. You want to reread it? Next time, please pay attention. Thank you. Good. Please reread it.
The LSB also urges the PNB to conduct its discussion of the major aspects of this matter in public.
Okay. And then we got it. So, all in favor, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All opposed? 6 all opposed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me get this right. Keep your hands up high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
Sorry, the motion's defeated. The second
The
second
second
one?
part is, the LSB urges the PNB to direct the executive director to release the names of all applicants.
Okay, all in favor? Please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All opposed, please raise your hands so I can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, next, back to the main motion. Okay,
There are two small ones. You could probably pass without objection, just interim.
okay, so now back to the main motion. All in favor, please raise your hands.
The very small amendment.
The little small.
Strike interim and change LMA to PSO. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody opposed to that?
No, they're
Okay, good. So now we can go to
main motion.
all in favor of the motion as stated, please raise. What?
Any objections?
No,
This is the main
the main
motion, not the
motion.
main motion. Read it, just read it.
Oh, no, okay. As
I'm sorry, audience, please bear with us.
As it is now, it would read, the WBAI Local Finance Committee strongly urges the WBAI Local
It would
Station
read
Board.
the local station board urges. You have to-
Anyway, that big.
Oh, yes, all right.
Go ahead, finish.
It would read, the WBAI Local Station Board urges the Pacifica National Board to postpone any decisions on the Public Service Operating Agreement option and any other changes in WBAI's operational status until all other fundraising options for WBAI have been exhausted. In particular, we urge the Executive Director to organize a network-wide emergency fund drive with the support of the PNB specifically aimed at paying off WBAI's immediate external debts, and to conduct an immediate fundraising mailing and emailing to the entire WBAI database. In addition, the Finance Committee recommends that the LSB demands that no decision on leasing WBAI or any other such status changes be made by the PNB before a public presentation and discussion by the WBAI LSB, on-air discussions in several time slots, and an LSB town hall meeting.
Okay, we're good. All in favor, please.
I'd like a roll call.
Any objection?
Yes.
40% to get a roll call.
Just show hands, come on. Go ahead.
Okay. Would you,
I got it.
you said you got it for roll call?
Well, it needs 40%. We object.
Oh, somebody object, who objected to the roll call? All
Doesn't matter.
right, so now we have to take a vote on whether, we want to have a roll
Just
call.
do it automatically. We've
No,
already-
hey, let him check, okay?
Okay, we have to take a vote on whether we want to have a roll call. Sorry, audience. Okay, all in favor of having a roll call, please signify by raising your
I
hands.
stand for what I stand for.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's manageable.
All opposed to having a roll call, please signify by raising your hands. What are you hiding from? 1,
I'm not hiding.
2, 3,
Yeah, you are hiding.
5, 6, 7, 8.
It's a grandstanding
Okay,
motion.
so,
And we're on.
here we go. Now we go back to the motion. There is no, we're back to the motion. All in favor? I gotta sit down, I'm
Stand
sorry.
behind your vote.
All in-
Order, 40% is enough to have a roll call. That was 40%.
Yes, so he's going to it.
Okay, you said all in favor. It's-
Yeah, we're
it's called
going,
the
we're
roll.
going, all right, so who has the roll call?
I do, I'm the secretary.
Okay, call it.
Carolyn Burden,
No.
John Brinkley. Yes. Steve Brown,
Irrelevant vote, I abstain.
aye. Janet Coleman,
No.
Russell Dale, I'm not here, sorry. Seth Goldberg,
No,
William Herwagen,
Yes.
Reggie Johnson,
Nope.
Ray DeForest not here, Ken Laufer,
No.
Bob Lederer,
Yes.
Frank Lefevre,
Yes.
Pat Logan,
Yes.
Lawrence Lucas not here, R. Paul Martin,
Yes.
Sean Rhodes,
Yes.
John Riley,
Yes.
Serene Roberts,
Yes.
Manajay Saba,
Abstain.
Jeremy Taylor,
No.
Bernard White, Robert Young, let's see, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 9 to 6. So it passes.
Two abstentions. You have
No,
to
we don't
count.
count
No, no, you count them when you do a roll call.
Yes.
It passes. So it's 9, 6, and 2, is that correct, Mr. Secretary?
Correct.
Motion passes
Don't call
9,
me
4,
Mr.
6 opposed, 2 abstentions.
okay.
See that, folks? Democracy in action. Okay, so moving on. Point of order. No point of order for what?
This meeting is scheduled to end at 10:30. It's 10:05, and we have 30 minutes of public comment. What does the body want to do?
We have to go to
That's the
public
point of
comment.
order.
We're going to public comment. Okay, so, the rules,
2 minutes.
okay, so the rules of public comment, so everybody understands, for those of you being here the first time, you'll get a chance to speak for 2 minutes. At that point, the timekeeper will hit the bell, that means you're done, and please show respect to the other people waiting in line to speak after you, and allow them to do so, all right? So-
Suggesting he rings it after 1 minute and 2 minutes. We have a, no, it's coming. And 1.5 minutes.
No, it's 2 minutes, that's the rules of the LSB. All right, let's go, so,
Point of procedure.
okay, yes,
Does that mean we're not going to get to the executive?
no, it doesn't mean anything.
We don't go automatically to this, we have to vote on
Oh,
what
we're
we
gonna
want to
vote on it.
do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. I didn't hear a motion to that effect before we discussed it.
Didn't hear a motion.
I didn't
change
hear a
the
motion
agenda.
to that effect before we discussed it. Okay, so you're saying we vote, where's the motion?
I move that we go to public comment immediately.
Okay, all in favor, please signify by raising your hands.
What, going to public comment?
Public comment immediately.
What are we missing?
That was the default.
GM.
It's on the agenda, you have to do it.
Oh, no.
Not immediately.
No.
Do it immediately.
But you
Go
don't
immediately. Please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Please, all opposed to go into public comment immediately? 1, 2, 3, 4. Apparently, it's 9 to 4, we go into public comment immediately. Okay, so, 2 minutes each. I would just ask you to, I'm not gonna call upon you, just go around, go around the room, we're gonna go like this. So you know who's in back here, I'm not gonna call on you, please, and then we'll go to the other side of the room, so come on up 2 minutes. We're just gonna go, we can cooperate like adults, you just get in line and go next.
My name is Susan Lee. I'm a formerly banned and fired producer, and I feel like Mary Frances Berry won. I have questions about the procedures going on here. Summer, with all due respect, I don't understand in reference to what Serene did, there seems to be no process where we won 10 years ago, 12 years ago. We won back the greatest victory the left has seen in many years, but that's been obliterated. We now have a top-down thing, so I am puzzled. We had Tony Bates fired from here. There were objections about sex stuff. There were 90 producers, there were however many, 77 producers objecting. And we had a top-down thing. He's suddenly the interim program director in DC. This is totally top-down. Mary Frances Berry won. And now we're corporate. You won by one vote, from what I understand. And you're running this place like it's top-down. Andrew Phillips, fired from, or laid off from KPFA, foisted on us. And now you put in a nutrition, Bob Nunnally. Mary Frances Berry has won. I am totally puzzled by somebody who has ostensibly your politics running this without any process, any kind of thing that we fought so hard for 12 years ago. Anybody here be involved in Bob Nunnally's being made IPD? That's not what we won. We lost. We have now lost it. And all I can say is I'm in mourning. And you all, you did it, you're doing it consistently, not voting for transparency. This is making me crazy. I've been on this fucking air for 30 years, except for the last 2 when your thugs got rid of me. And I walked out because I was treated with disrespect. And I can just tell you, this is not,
thank you very much.
This is not what we won 12 years ago. You're destroying it. And you and the people who put you in.
Thank you. He's got you 2 minutes, don't worry.
Okay, I'm starting now. I want Andrew Phillips back. That's just me. I like the guy, and I wish he was back here. I have no idea how to get hold of him. Maybe you can give me an email. I don't know where he is.
Who's talking?
I've been
please?
listening this week to JFK conspiracy stuff about how they killed him. I listen to it every day on Gary Null. Amazing stuff, and I heard it today. And all this stuff about, you know, Oswald being a patsy and everything else, and all this conspiracy stuff. My belief is that someone, they are sure, if they can kill that, they sure can kill someone who knows too much and talks too much, like WBAI. My belief is that every decision by Berthold about programming has been a total disaster and has driven Berthold and Tony Betts, driven users away. He should be not allowed to make any programming decision. He just made one yesterday, put a nursing program to 11 o'clock at night when no one will ever hear him. He cannot touch programming. Get somebody else, you do the programming. You're better. I don't want him doing any programming at all. Okay, my long belief is the only saving for BAI is new listeners. And I also think Steve Brown, you get together with him and spend an hour with him on his ideas. No one has ever taken him up, and he's got damn good ideas about getting money that's out there right now. My long belief is that for new listeners, no effort has been made in the last 10 years that I've been here to actually getting new listeners. Here's how I think you should do it. You get a handout of some good programs, what they are, annotate them and so forth, what time they are. Not every program, some good ones. And you go out on these street fairs. We have them all 12 months a year. We have these street fairs here in New York City. And you get people out there and you ever heard of the station WHIP? No, that's what you need, a whip. And you go out and you control this thing and you make people hand these things out in one-to-one, and that's the only way you're going to get new listeners to this place.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go? Okay. Hi, everybody. What? It's your turn?
Yeah, he's next.
Sorry about that. After you.
Hi, my name is Jack Shalom. I'm a long-time listener to BAI. I've been listening to BAI since I was 15 years old. That makes 45 years. I don't try and get involved in the politics of BAI because anything I might think is going to be upended because the agendas go back beyond 45 years. But what I do want to say is, as a long-time listener, I am absolutely shocked, this is the first I've heard of it, that the non-transparency of the LMA agreements, I'm just absolutely shocked that we're not to know, and not even the board is not to know, never mind the public, which is already shocking, who is up for the LMAs. How can you possibly make a decision about that without sharing that with the board and without having input from the board. If we're going to remain a WBAI, then that has to be transparent. The second thing I want to say is that in a time of crisis, it's very easy to be stampeded. And I think Carolyn said she was afraid that these proposals will go away. WBAI is in the middle of the biggest market, New York City, in the country. Proposals are not going to go away. This is the most valuable thing, in radio right now. It's not going to go away. We don't need to be stampeded. What we need is transparency and careful deliberation over the next decisions. Thanks.
Just as a note, you don't have to speak your name when you're in public comment, okay? I believe that we're doing the first row. Yeah, we're doing the first row first. Yeah, that's what I said before, and then we were working our way around the room. So Al, I'm sorry, man without a name with red shirt.
Okay, I'm Alex Steinberg. I'm a former member of the local station board and the national board.
Nothing to brag about.
I'm not bragging, I'm just identifying myself for people who don't know me. I want to congratulate the board for supporting the motion that came out of the Finance Committee. You may want to know that this was truly a joint effort. I was one of the draftees of the motion, as was Bob Lederer, and we had input from several other members of the committee, and we actually had a unanimous vote on the Finance Committee supporting that motion. So that tells you where some of the rank and file people around here stand. I have to say that I'm kind of appalled that we have members of this board, and particularly directors of the foundation, being afraid of a roll call vote. I felt that was really shocking. And it's really a betrayal of any kind of commitment to transparency or democracy. I will not support these directors for re-election to the national board. And I hope you all join me in finding a better set of directors going forward. Thank you.
Wait a minute. Well, there's a line there, sort of.
Yeah, but he was the last guy on the first row, the second row, then the people from the other part of the room.
Right.
Don't start timing yet. Okay. My name is Mark Dunley, and I'm one of the radio producer on City Watch for about 3-4 years. I'd also worked at a community radio station for 9 years before coming to WBAI. I hope that WBAI is given 6 months to try to get its finances in order. I have felt since I've been here that producers and other volunteers who want to help the station are disempowered, and that I hope that would change. In my professional life, I've run statewide nonprofit, I've run statewide political campaigns. I'm mystified as to why WBAI has such financial challenges. I understand why it takes place. I don't understand why it needs to occur. Telemarketing, large donors, special events, direct mail, radiothons, social media. There are so many things that could very easily be done to get money for the station, and I've heard repeated suggestions at every meeting I've been to, and there's never any follow-up. And it's not like people don't want to follow up. There's never been a mechanism to allow that to occur. And if we get in 6 months, it really has to allow people to help the station. Because I really felt since I've been here for 3-4 years, there really has not been an easy way for that to occur.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, no, I think it's the back row is the next, and then the people from the rest of the audience, right? So Fran's next, and then... That's what he had said when he started. He said first row, then the second row, and then that side of the room. That's all.
Why we didn't hear that across there? We don't come in the first row.
Everybody talks, don't waste time, come on.
Okay, all right. I've been in a lot of organizing and a lot of political stuff, and I've looked at a lot of history of how groups get together and how groups disperse and are lost.
which happens all the time. And my considered opinion is that once things disperse, they do not get back together. And I see the LMA as an utter dispersal of the staff, of the listeners, of the very idea, the very soul of BA, as it were, of WBAI and what it means to people. We won't get it back. And I agree with what Steve said also, that there won't be the money generated to get it back, the money part of that. So as far as I'm concerned, the LMA is a goodbye to WBAI. I can't see it any other way. We are being told tonight we have two very dire choices: to sort of go out of existence in a torturous, slow, or maybe not so slow way, or to go an LMA route, which is losing us anyway. Two dire choices. I think it's a time to maybe take a bit of a risk, to do something daring, to use our imaginations, because I think we have nothing to lose at this point. And my suggestion is in line with seeing if we can radically increase our listenership, because if we had a radically increased listenership, we would have a much larger proportion of people donating to the station, hence our financial woes would be at least helped a great deal. I think that these ideas of making flyers and going to community events, very nice, I'm all for it, absolutely won't do the trip. Very slow, very small returns on that. We have something in New York City that they don't have in other areas, which is a subway system where there are 64 million people going into those subways every single day. 64 million, obviously, some of them are repeats, because we don't have that many in the area. Okay, I have inquired about the cost of an advertisement, $40,000 for a month. One in every 7 cars, millions and millions of people seeing them, and it's not impossible to get $40,000. We have a behest coming in, I understand. We also have a lot of rich people we haven't even begun to tap, which I don't understand. I stand ready to work on all of this, and I've already begun, and I think it's the time to move on an idea like that.
Thank you very much.
My name is Najee. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I started coming to the meetings, programming meetings with Jim over at the Atrium back in August. And I'm glad this gentleman talked about advertising, because I took it upon myself to make a flyer with a list of programs, a sort of questions, did you know? And then the time and date that you could hear the program answering those questions. And I'm going to put out my own money and get 10,000. And I'm talking to other people to do the same thing. Given the circumstance, you know, I worked on Wall Street 10 years. I worked in family insurance business 10 years. And I started DJing at age 13. So I've got a little experience. I'm building houses in Newark, New Jersey right now. Yes, every board member should examine and read this thoroughly. I've read 300-page SEC filings for companies going public on the stock market overnight. So I'm working with a team, including Fran, who mentioned the demographics of the subway system, to come up with a new business model. It needs to be membership driven and revenue raising driven. And if we see it before, we must see what we want to be before we can be it. We have to have vision. What I've said to some people is, because people said you got Jane Fonda and you got this, you got that, but the resources of the station are in triage mode. So I think what we need to do, what I said to people is, if you see that we can bring a heavy hitter in, bring the entire ball to the goal. Because they don't have the people to call, they don't have the people to follow up, they don't have the people to do this. For the last 6 weeks, I've been coming on Sundays and we've been packing packages up there. And I've worked with Mitch Cohen and several other people getting the premiums out. We need to be talking about revenue and getting premiums out. I don't know what happened before, but right now it doesn't matter. And if we don't do something, nothing will happen in the future. But if you can do a CIA redaction on the LMA and maybe show them what these other people will do, maybe it'll inspire them to come up with something that we can do now. Okay, these LMA offers, obviously these people are doing something, they have audiences. Okay, they have revenue streams. So everybody needs to read them and see how we can start to do something like that or other things similar in order to get the membership up and get the revenue up.
Thank you very much.
David Road, Warrior 4, producer of Tell It Like It Is, recently resigned because of some stuff with the previous IPD. Anyway, sure you've seen that email. First off, WBAI should be involved in WBAI should be involved in every rally, town, concert, parade that goes on throughout the city, throughout, especially the summertime. There are free concerts and parks. We should have a presence there. We have the technology, we have the equipment, we have the expertise to actually broadcast from all of these events. We haven't been doing that. Let's say you have the different parades, for example. BAI could arrange with the promoters to be there so that we could either do hourly drops or broadcast directly from there. People going out, you have thousands of people going to towns for cancer research and all this kind of stuff. Okay, we have WBAI has a certain philosophy on cancer research. Okay, that's a large community we could reach out to. That will grow the audience, it will also grow membership. I don't understand why it is that so many programs today don't even take phone calls from listeners anymore. It seems as though stuff is being produced outside and then brought in, put on the air, and the listeners are left out. But when it's time to get money, what happened? Well, you call. You can call when we need your money, but when we do on the programs, no, we don't. Your voice should not be heard. That has changed drastically. Cat Radio Cafe and so many other programs came to WBAI with doing a little interview here, getting a little segment there. Then next thing you know, Susan Lee, for example, had a program on. Why? Because they brought information that was relevant to the community that people financially supported, but now that whole thing has been changed. You don't have that same thing. But finally, let me just say this. The reason why people are so connected to Facebook is because they feel that they could communicate with others.
I hear some kind of beeping here. Somebody's got a device. Please turn it off.
I think Susan or David.
Somebody's got a device that's beeping. Please turn it off.
Pacer, you don't want to turn it off.
Oh, is it?
No.
Okay.
Hi, Tim. Good night, folks. The name is Wayne Walcott, listener sponsor of the station. Now, this station being earmarked for extinction since Bill Clinton was interviewed by Amy Goodman while he was trying to push Al Gore on the country. That was his mistake, but BAI is still paying the price for it. It's a concerted thing that being increased every year. And now it seems that it is being assisted by people within the management of BAI itself. So the outside forces that work against BAI now work from the inside of BAI. We have to find those people, line them up against the wall and get BAI moving again. Now, the fundraising that we're having a problem with. The thing is that a lot of these people that were fired, laid off, or whatever, they have a large following still, regardless of how you all feel. Bring them back, especially for fundraising ventures. Their job is also part of it. Get them involved. Don't leave them out and bring in all these new programs that we sound funny. It kind of getting a kind of tiresome thing listening to some of these things on BAI, right? The only fundraiser that we have that actually bringing in money is Gary Knoll. I mean, I love the program and I love his things, but we had to get people like that to match. We had that on the station before, bring it back. Don't throw out everything like the baby with the bathwater. We can't afford to do that. We need to get these ideas back. We have some good ideas past here already, so I think as long as we pull everything together, BAI will get out of the situation. It is too important to lose in this or any other place within New York. This country is getting ready to go over the financial precipice into depression. Once the dollar is devalued, and it will be devalued, we all going to be catching a different sound. Our ass is going to be in heat, a lot. BAI is the only station that will bring that to the audience. Time to get it back to what it used to be. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, uno momento, everybody be quiet. I want to hear where that noise is coming from. Where's the noise? It's not. Huh?
It's over here somewhere, but we
Just be quiet so you can figure it out. It's so annoying.
There might be a building alarm.
Okay, all right, next. Go ahead. Sorry. I don't want
information gathering technology.
Tell the cops to get lost. We're here.
Okay. Most of what I wanted to say has already been said by other people.
I forget the beat.
I'm not going to repeat what they've already said. I want to say, though, that there has been a small cadre of people that have been coming together that came in through the CAB meetings and through some other avenues, and we've been working on premiums, we've been working on trying to get things done inside the station itself. I think that group of people could be applied if we get the phone lines and if we get a list to this idea of contacting the whole database. I know there's expense involved with that, but to the extent that we could do some of it from the station, that would be good. I realize contacting the whole database by phone is a monumental task, so hopefully if we could do some of that on the computer, that would be good. And the other thing
Listen, the guy's trying to talk. Forget it.
The other thing I want to say is this group of people that comes together, we're pushing premiums out the door, is going to be meeting on Sunday at 1 o'clock. And I'd love to see some of the faces here that I usually see at these meetings, but I rarely see at the station, and some of these other faces that I see in the audience. It would be really nice to see people coming together, get into the station, put stuff in boxes, and get it out the door to keep the money coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. Happy holidays. Hope everybody's doing okay. My name is M. Saidi McLaughlin. I've been at the station for almost 40 years. I happen to do a show called Sports Qualified, which I believe that at the time when I developed it was something to develop new listeners. Whether or not I've gotten that support is another story, but it's something that I had to think about in terms of my own personal involvement in terms of being on the air. I just want to say that demographically, I don't think this body no longer represents the current demographics of New York City. We used to be the heir of the listener, and the fact that we were the heir of the listener, that was the trajectory that allowed us to take folks into the 21st century. We are no longer that trajectory. In fact, that we seem to be stuck in maybe how we are delivering whatever the product that we have.
New York is an old white man.
Excuse me. Especially you. Okay? So I think we've lost that energy. But at the same time, when we look at stuff on here at the back in terms of the support of certain people here at the station and certain things, and people list their names in terms of their geographic locations, they don't necessarily represent. And I would be suspect of why certain people are supporting things in terms of maintaining a certain hegemony in the station, because as it has seemed that the station has turned into almost like a fortress. And I don't know why it has, but it just seems to be. There's no in and out. The community has not been able to come in when it needs to come in. And so that creates some problems. Even when folks want to do premiums, this person says, well, call me, you call them. They don't answer back, you wait. And so therefore that limits some stuff. And then speaking of premiums, and we're also becoming a distributing house. I'm not part of I don't believe in sweatshops. I'm not trying to become part of a workshop. And the more you hear a person, I guess the more people pay for certain things, but I don't think that $80,000 of our budget should be going to certain kind of products that may work, but we should not be doing. There are other things that we could be giving to the community. The other piece is that...
Over 2 minutes.
No, he said...
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Oh, that was 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And if it comes after, I'll wait here. We got 30 minutes. Good work.
Thanks.
And this is an insult to producers.
My name is Mitchell Cohen. I'm secretary. I'm allowed to speak here because I'm not allowed to speak in those meetings. And want to do two different things. One is the website of BAI. We can use the website even though it was hacked yesterday and now it's down thanks to some problem with, well, it's in Houston, it's not here, and where the servers are located. And it's affecting, I think, other places in the network as well. But to use the website in a way that puts ads onto the website, which is legal. It's not illegal for us to raise money that way. So that's just one idea. You could get a lot of different ads from community groups. We could selectively do that, whichever ones we want. The other, and that's just one of any number. It's not the solution. It's just one of any number of many different solutions. Steve's were great, and they need to be implemented immediately, so should all the other things. We need staff to do that. So people, if you'd like to volunteer to put some of those into effect, just hit volunteer at WBAI.org, and we'll get it going. The other thing is, I would like to see BAI partner now with a church or synagogue for the coat drive
for people who are homeless or who don't have coats. And the idea is not only to help people out as we used to do and gather the whole community together rather than being divisive and fighting it out, but also to get somebody like the incoming mayor to endorse the coat drive. He can't endorse the radio, but he can endorse the drive, and I could see on buses putting de Blasio's picture saying, I help out WBAI's coat drive, you know, and putting out ads. So we need to use imagination and how to do this. I think we could do it. I think we could do it immediately, but we need to be allowed to do that. I sense a new openness in the part of management, which is why I feel a lot better, actually, of the things that we're facing now, because I think we can move forward if we just have the time allowing us to do that. So thank you.
My name is Coach Martin. Hi, Sean. I had a wonderful opportunity to get involved on the 24th of October, right after Summer's address to listeners, with Catherine Davis to raise some money. And I was offered the opportunity to be on program to do that. And I've got a few ideas. I want to be part of reaching out to people that could lean toward giving us some money. I think that my background is kind of direct sales, so I like to see people out with the BAI gear, doing the turtle, the slow process. I think we're not doing enough, and if you're looking for something to turn up, we need to begin with our sleeves. And this would be the step. And I'm looking, and I'll be here if there's a meeting that's going to be involved with getting people together. I'm interested in organizing a direct operation, a direct field operation. I think that's a little slow, but it works, and it needs to continue. So that's what I'd like to see we get involved in, is each person recommending people, and each one reach one. You got 10, you got 100, and you got 1,000. So it could be ahead of some of the challenges. I think that's all I want to say.
Street fairs.
Street fairs, thank you.
I'm Melissa. I've been a listener since I moved to New York in '84. I think that the ability of the Finance Committee to put aside factionalism enough to agree on the proposal and bring it here is very promising, and might make possible some things that haven't been possible. For example, structuring some process here. I've been to numerous meetings and all these wonderful ideas come up, and then that's that, and we walk out and that's the end of it. I think we need committees or something, like 4 of them. Emergency fundraising, because all of this is moot if we don't come up with money for the transmitter. I mean, like money this week, the next week, for the next immediate money. And then a fundraising committee, a marketing/PR committee, and a programming committee for people who are actually interested in these topics and have the time to meet on a regular basis, to come up with ideas and meet with the staff and actually do stuff in a committed, disciplined way. And if that's possible, I think the reason this hasn't happened because of all the ugliness of the history and the factionalism, but if it were possible to have these committees, to have regular feedback, then maybe all of these wonderful ideas wouldn't just pop up in the air and then fizzle out. As the person who made the thing about events, there are 2 events. There's programs right over there. Monday at CUNY, there's a big event, and December 5th there's a big event. We probably should do these 2 things. There's flyers over there on the table. And lastly, right, no, emergency money, obviously. None of this means anything if we can't get the money to pay for the transmitter. And it just seems like everybody thinks that somehow that's an option. But when there's no money in the bank, there's no money in the bank. And so we have got to focus. Somebody has got to step up, however many people, and come up with emergency action over the next 6 weeks to get us over this hump so that we can have the 6 months to do all this stuff. Because if we don't get the emergency money, then we don't get the 6 months. That's all there is to it. Thank you.
It's been a long time, guys. Hey, good to see everybody's here. It hasn't even changed that much in all these years. I'm Paul DiRienzo, former member of this board and a longtime programmer at WBAI. And the reason I'm here speaking is because, oh, I have my friends and I have people who say they're not my friends, but they're really my friends. I'm friends with everybody. But I'd like to because I haven't heard it yet. The hardest, most thankless job in the entire 50 states of the United States. Someone has actually stepped up to take on that job and actually got a permanent, got beyond interim into permanency in that position and has the reins. Somebody who I know for 30 years, somebody from New York in part, somebody who understands the culture of Pacifica Radio and WBAI, somebody who knows how to talk to people from all different perspectives and backgrounds and different politics, somebody who knows how to take a ship and sail it through the most dangerous ice-ridden waters in the history of this entire foundation since 1948. We should give a big hand. I know people have their politics and this and that, but give a big hand. This is a woman who deserves it. She deserves it. I wish her the best of luck, survival duck. If you need a vest or anything like that, just give me a call. This is New York. Thank you guys. Good luck.
How much does she pay you? Come on.
Call for the orders of the day. And I'm done in less than 2 minutes.
Can I say one thing?
All right,
Did you want to say something like about 100 people ago? Yeah, I know you did, because I saw you stand up almost 3 times.
And you have 5 more seconds.
Yeah, just one, listen to that. Okay, listen to that. I want to just say that I think monthly, maybe every 5 or 6 weeks, there should be into a producer's show a buddy special. Okay, and I think in every show there should be a PSA talking about the buddy, so that we can do our own commercials and promotions within. But there should be a rotation where you come up with something that gets the host involved, so the person doesn't get preempted, but they're involved in something creative that would bring more buddies on a constant basis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there one more
This
speaker?
gentleman,
Last
this
speaker?
gentleman here was
That's
the
it.
last one who didn't speak.
Last speaker.
I'm Pete. I'm a long-time listener. I want to strongly associate myself with the perspectives that Bob Lederer put forth today. I'm just astounded that this board voted to keep itself in the dark. I just don't understand that. We all remember what all happened leading up to the coup in 2000, where people were kept in the dark. And let's not go down those roads again. Maybe we took a first couple of steps down that road again. I don't think anybody wants to repeat those experiences. So I just, all the people who voted to keep ourselves in the dark, think about the road that you're going down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I am orders of the day. I am announcing the adjournment. Meeting was scheduled to go till 10:30. We are past 10:30. Thank you so much for attending tonight. Meeting's over. Hang out and do over. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Cheers away.
Yeah, help clean up, please.
You voted to put yourself in the dark.
No, I don't know what you mean by that.
We're going to have